Well, hello, hello, hello. It is the Friday after Thanksgiving. Yes, yes. Happy Friday. I hope as you all are coming on that you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And as you're coming on, I encourage you to invite others to join us this evening. I am excited about our guests this evening. I'm excited about you. And while you're going to hear an intro, I still wanted to just come on beforehand and just welcome you and say that I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday. And, for some of you, you may have felt like you needed to take your scales back to -10 so it'll show up the way you wanted it to when you got on today. But I hope you had a great, great day yesterday. And I declare that the rest of your week, the rest of this month, listen, the year is just going to be great. So thank you for joining me. And we're getting ready to get started. You will hear another intro, but I'm behind the scenes, okay? And I'll be back on. Go ahead and tag someone, text someone. Tell them join us. It's going to be a great time this evening. Are you ready? All right, here we go. To a Better Me Empowerment Season 2. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. To all of our first time and guests and those who've been with us since season 1, thank you for joining again. Now, this episode is being pre-recorded, and there are good reasons. There are very, very good reasons, because both of my guests are very, very busy. They're on high demand. And one I have a little bit of say about, but the other one, listen, when he's on high demand, I just got to let him go. Okay. And that is our son, KJ, man of God. And I want you to know that this episode is actually being recorded the day after Veterans Day. So again, we say to all the veterans and to even those who are active duty and serving, thank you so very much. I am flanked at the one side with my husband, who's a veteran, and on the other side with KJ, man of God, who is active duty. And I'm so blessed for that. And so I really chose this episode with them and with that in mind. However, you're going to be watching this the day after Thanksgiving. And that's good reasons for that as well. But anyway, I'd like to formally do an introduction to those of you who do not know our youngest in our tribe, and then the younger of our 2 sons, because we have 2. And so, many of you know him, but KJ is the one that is military. And so that was one of the reasons for doing this episode. But his name is Kenneth. And I call him KJ, man of God. And so I'd like to welcome him to the set. And then you all know the love of my life. Oh my goodness. Bishop Honey. Kenny calls him Scott. And so I have him back with me. Bishop Scott was on with me. Interestingly enough, I opened up season 1 with him. I'm opening up season 2 with him. Oh, I told you I'm a blessed girl, right? So, gentlemen, I'd like to welcome both of you on set. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Bishop, I'd like to start with you because, as I said, you were with us in season 1, episode 1, and a lot has changed for you since then. some very good things. And so would you like to just share a little bit to bring our repeat audience up to speed? What's been going on with you?
Well, as you say, we be in high demand, me and my son here, but a lot has been going on, and all to the glory of God. On the job, received a promotion. Now I'm the chair of the Human Service Technology department out there. God recently just opened up another door, commission on the Housing Authority right here in New Bern. And the big major task, I'm back in school to further my education so I could become a licensed pastoral counselor. I share with you, everything that's going on with COVID and things of that nature in the aftermath. People are going to need more attention, and I just want to be one of those that can give them quality assistance at the level that the people of God deserve.
Wow, you have a lot going on, and we thank you for it all. We thank you for it all. And then KJ, man of God, listen, this is your first time on A Better Me Empowerment. I told you I was going to have you up here. And I do welcome you again. I had the privilege of being on your podcast, the last episode of your season. And our platforms are a little different, but it appears that we both are encouragers. That's just what we do. And am I right, or is there a difference between our goals as it relates to encouraging others? Talk about your goals as it relates to encouraging others.
For me, I really enjoyed the joy. I get joy and gratification from seeing people not either having to go through the same things that I've been through, or being able to learn or lean on me when they are going through some of those things. So I do agree with you in the sense that I believe we're both encouragers. Our platforms, yes, they are different as far as the guests and things of that nature, but I'm trying to reach an audience that sometimes gets left behind, and just break it down in a more, I guess, fresh way, But yeah, I agree, and I get that a lot from you, just encouraging. So I'm trying to do the same thing.
Thank you. You just encouraged me. So, we have so much in common, the three of us. I mean, we have family. The two of you, as I said, are one's active duty, one is prior service. And then we have regular meetings, the three of us, conversations. We're always sharing goals and so much more that we do together. And I think that it not only serves us well, but it can serve others well. What do you think are the contributing factors for this? More specifically, KJ, what keeps you as engaged with us as you are?
I value our relationship, right? I think that we have a pretty solid relationship. I feel like although I give you the respect of my parents, I feel as I have that friend connection with you guys as well, which is for me super important. And I always want you to be involved in aspects of my life, but I also know that this is a journey that I was chosen to walk on my own, and it's just a blessing to know that on the backside of it, whenever I get like off my path or something kind of shakes me, I can always come to you guys and say, this is where I'm at now. And you either going to tell me, hey, snap back, or you're in the right direction. And I think like just having that, because, as we talked about on our episode on my podcast, was not having yes men. And I know I'm not always going to get the answer I probably want when I call you guys, but I'm definitely going to get the answer I need. So I think that just keeps me, the fact that I know I'm going to get what I need whenever I talk to you guys just keeps me so glued to you guys. And the fact that I've been away for over almost 16 years now just also speaks to that as well.
Wow. It's been 16 years. Imagine that, Poppy.
Yeah.
Wow. So Bishop, excuse me, sir, I'm calling you Poppy.
That's
I
all
see
good.
we're connected in so many ways, family and everything else.
And being in this atmosphere with him, it makes it easier to flow that way. So you're fine.
Thank you. So, sir, now, does your view differ from his? And if so, from what perspective? as it relates to our connections and what keeps us in relationship with one another, the three of us, because we have this ongoing regular basis, looking forward to have that dialogue time with each other.
Yeah, well, I do agree with what he shared for the engaging aspect. And, you know, he knows how to reach out when he needs to reach out for serious things. And also, so we can just, me and him just can kick it. You know, he'll call your phone, but you know, your phone is just a gateway for me to get on and do what we do. But the relationship, I wish more parents and children can have this kind of relationship, because the honesty that flows, the heartfelt conversation, can laugh, you know, talk with the grandkids. This is just so awesome. But it's because the kind of man that he is, the kind of son that he is, that he values family, he values relationship. You see what he got up behind him. Family is the key to happiness.
Yes, yes.
You know, and that's because that's what's been sold into his life, and he values that. And we know we can hear from him, and we don't hear from anybody else. We're going to hear from him, and we're going to get a good laugh. You know, we're going to get caught up on a couple of movies that I can look at, you really can't, but you know, that's a whole other story, right? You know, but to see him to mature the way that he has, it is so awesome and so refreshing. And I don't want to, I can go on and on about him, because that's just who he is. You know, seeing him walk out fatherhood, it just blesses me to see him walk that piece out. So I didn't read, you know, I don't want to get ahead of some things, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, you're free. You're free. You're free.
Yeah, he is he is that. I don't want his head to get too big, but you know, hey, I'm gonna hurry up and deflate it real quick.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, when I was in the garage the other day, and I was cleaning up, and I came across that plaque you had your mama to buy in basic training.
Let's talk about that. Since we
ain't gonna talk about
that.
If I talk about that, I might talk about the TV. So I was.
Let's talk about that. Since it's all to the military.
But you know what? He has truly blossomed, and I tell you, it's so refreshing when we talk to him and hear what he's doing, how he's thinking, how he's looking, how he's valuing things. Most of all, how he has a plan.
That's good. That's good. And I'm glad you went there, because you're right. That's one of the things we're always hearing, KJ, is about your plan and your value with your family, your children, and things of that nature. And that, so with that being said, you know, where you are now in the military, how does this translate into your life with your children?
Man, I just personally, I wouldn't be the father I am today without having a role model like Scott, and then also just seeing all the things that you personally went through from me being a little kid, and how hard you worked to make sure that we were well taken care of. And, you know, I tell people all the time, I ain't have all the Jordans, you know what I'm saying? But we had hot dogs and chips for my birthday. But you know what I mean? I had mad love. I felt loved all the time. The only time I never felt love was when I had to do homework over and over again. And that translates to my kids, because I'm really tough on them when it comes to school and grades. And and I just want to show them love. Like, I rarely got spankings growing up, right? And most of them were mainly from my grandma, God rest her soul. But I rarely got spankings. It was more the talking to. And I use that now because I know, you know, I was actually having this conversation the other day, when you know better, you do better, right? And
right.
You know, growing up, we didn't know any different from spanking. That was just the way. But as you learn and you develop and you realize that, you know, there's other methods and means to taking preventive measures with your children, I've incorporated that as well. Like those long talking to. I know my son sometimes is like, Daddy, please be quiet. But, you know, this is just a direction that I learned from you guys, and I know it to be effective because of where I am in my life. And so I just use that with them as well. And I just want to show them love. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And in the relationship that we have, I want them to have that as well. Like I don't fear coming to you guys about anything, and I'm far from perfect. But to know that I can go and just have this conversation, and even like I said before, I might not hear what I called to hear, but I'm going to hear what I need to hear. And knowing that, I want them to always have that open door and never feel like they have to be afraid to talk to me, or that I'm too far disconnected from their reality that I won't be able to understand their trauma or their problems.
That's good. That's good. So then in your current work environment, because we know over the years before you went into the military, we would learn and hear things relating to it from Scott. And with where you are now, and it's great with what you're doing with the children, are you using any of these techniques in your workplace because you have younger personnel under you, and are you seeing the effects of it?
For sure. I use it all the time. I honestly, if it wasn't for Scott,
I think we just lost connection. Here in our area, we're having very bad weather. And so I'm not sure what's happening in his area. So let's see if we can get him. Okay, we missed, you're back now. Okay, you were just beginning to answer your question. Go ahead and start.
Okay, so yeah, I do know like that if it wasn't for Scott sometimes telling me, hey, calm down, chill, take a deep breath, relax, I probably wouldn't be in the military still to this day. So knowing that, having that in my back of my mind, and then like we talked about in the beginning, just being an encourager. I'm able to do that, and I get text messages. I'm an instructor right now. My position is an instructor, and I get text messages from these new airmen who just joined the military all the time. I actually got a text today, and they just reach back and just check on me and say, hey, Sergeant Jones, I passed my CDC test, or I did this and I did that. And that's because of, you know, as soon as I see them, from the moment I see them and meet them, I try to just encourage them. I try to give them my life journey in the military and outside of the military spectrum. And a lot of that is because Scott was able to get at to me. Hey, this is what you're going to see. All right. So when I saw it, it wasn't like a difficult transition. I just was able to remember, like, nah, I heard this before, or he told me this was going to happen. Or the times that I don't know, I just pick up the phone and I can call him and say, hey, this is what's going on right now. And I don't know how to react to it, and say, okay, yeah, I remember this happened in my career as well. And so I'm able to navigate a little more and then be more free with the airmen.
We lost the sound, Kenny. Your sound went out. We can't hear you, but we can see you. The sound went out. Can you hear us? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. We can hear you again. We missed out on the little bit that you'd mentioned. What did you just say?
It just allows me to be more free with the airmen, because I know that if there's anything that I don't know, I can always pick up the phone and call.
That's good.
So it's just a blessing to have that background, and to just have that from you and him, the encourager spirit as well. So it just both plays out pretty well.
That's good. That's real good. That's good. Now, honey, I have to ask you this because, as I just mentioned, we were able to watch you in the latter portion of your career, your military career. And we've gleaned from it, all of us, not just KJ and I, but, the other children as well. And so KJ is, I want to say, can I give your age?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 31 or 2? 32. KJ is 32. So, babe, looking back in your military career at the same age, 32, that KJ is now, if you had to tell yourself something, or even tell him something that you learned as a result of being age 32 in the military, what would you tell him?
Well, first of all, at 32, I have only been in the military 7 years versus the amount of years he's been in.
Right.
So he got a huge leg up on me, praise the Lord. But what I would have told myself, I would tell him, is get real serious about education. I missed a lot of times when I could have been getting education on the military's dime and things of that nature, knowing that, not thinking ahead that when I get out, I'm going back to civilian life. And it's a whole different life. The military culture is just so different. It cares for one another. It kind of protects you, and it puts you in a certain place and a mindset. And the education is going to be needed. And with him in particular, his certification, but he's staying current with all of that. And he is in school. That's good. But that would be the one thing I said. And me and him and talked about some things about preparation for retirement, some things that he need to do. But at age 32, that's what I would have told myself, because I came in, when I joined the military, I was only about a good 14 hours away from a BS. I was about 14 credit hours away from a degree, you know. So I should have, when I got in, I could have. Say again?
I was about 114.
That's another story.
I was about to say, if they only knew the story, you may get a chance to share some of it.
Yeah, so but that would be it. Education, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful that he's on that track now. You know, he's been hitting in spots, but he has a focus there now, and he's in a field that his personality and everything, his package, he's going to do well. He's a great people person, but we know when you get out here, folk be looking at credentials. You know, folk looking at credentials. So he's going to do great. But that was one thing I would tell him at age 32.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm sure he thanks you as well. But look, since KJ went there on that 114, we might as well go there with him, because because KJ, man of God, your journey has been so unorthodox, you know, from that of a young boy to, you know, all the way through where you are now, having Scott to pick you up at college, you know, we went through that. Having to cover me while he was in Georgia, you know. I know that was a tough one. And I, like you all, I'm glad that season is over. And now here you are. What applications or processes did you use to overcome those obstacles that got you where you are right now?
That's an amazing question. I think, and you learn more the more you grow, right? The more you go through experiences, you learn different applications and processes that you can use. So speaking for the 18, 17, 18, 19-year-old KJ that had, you know, the trouble and whatever, like, honestly, looking back at that time, I don't even know what application I used. I think I used the application of don't get a spanking and don't get punched in your chest. That was like most of the applications we used then. Now, when I encounter little difficulties and rough patches and things, I just use the fact that I know life is going to continue. And there's no need to worry if you can change it, because then you can just change it. And so I just try to keep that mindset with everything. I feel everything that I'm going through. And then once I feel, I find a solution and then keep going. But I just can't, I don't want myself, life already throws enough curveballs. And I was just telling you about one that I got today. And so I just realized that you have to be able to roll with the punches. And the more positive you are about the punches, the more positive the outcome will be. And I always try to think like that. It's like, all right, yeah, I'm going through this, but if I keep a positive mindset and I start to look at everything as a blessing or a lesson, I started looking at everything like that, I realized that there was no failure. Like anything that I was going through, it wasn't going to lead to failure, because it was either a blessing in it or a lesson or both. And so I just try to look at the end result of everything and say, all right, what can I take from this? And that's just how I overcome most of the obstacles that I even go through today. Everybody says, you know, you're always smiling, you got a positive attitude, this and that, but it's not without trouble or trial. I just always try to, instead of looking at the situation and seeing what's bad in it, I try to find the good in it.
That's good. So let me ask you, was it a blessing or a lesson when he came to college to pick you up?
Failure. Absolute failure. only only failure that I probably experienced in my whole life. That was a failure. That was failed tremendously. You failed when there was a hurricane and you was driving me up a wall, and I was calling Scott like, bro, if you don't get here, I cannot take care of your wife right now. She's driving me up a wall. So yeah, like those things, I couldn't find the positive in them during that time. That's why I say it's like as you grow and experience, then you learn how to navigate through it. But those two things specifically, I just didn't find the good in them. Yeah, I used to go in my room stressed after you was worried about that hurricane.
I still get a good laugh.
And it was so bad when he picked me up from college, I went and got her a fake TV. That's how bad. I didn't want to be there no more, so I just bought her fake TVs.
Boy, you funny, man. You are so funny.
But yeah, no, those were definitely times in my life where I look back on it, but they made me who I am, and they put me in a position to be where I am today. I don't know where I would have been if I would have stayed and he didn't pick me up from college. And honestly, I could have done without the hurricane, but the college thing, I don't know exactly where I would have been in life. So I'm blessed. Like I don't look at it as like I failed at college, because now I got a 4.0. I'm in school now. Already got my associates, working on my bachelor's. So
it's good.
You know, it is what it is. Everything happens in the time that it's supposed to happen. And if I was to compare my course to somebody else's, then I would be looking down like, man, I should have finished school. But everything just happens for me the way it's supposed to happen for me.
That is so good. That is so good. And of course, you know, the three of us just had a real good laugh. And I'm sure some of the audience is like, what's this about the school? What's this about the hurricane? So, you know, we got to bring them in. We got, you don't want to bring them in?
Hey, look, all right, I'll just surface it. All right, with school, I'll just surface it a little bit. With school, I had a rough time adjusting. Let's just say that. And in that rough time, I made some dumb decisions that got me removed from the college campus. And when they showed up, listen, it was
when he showed up.
Yeah. But when it felt like him and God showed up at the same time. I felt like it was a lot of people on that campus at the time. Security guard was pretty much just ushering me off the campus. It was a rough time in my life. The hurricane. That was something. We had just moved to North Carolina. Scott was transitioning from Germany to Georgia and then up to North Carolina, and so it was me being the man of the house. And though I had to do this at a younger age, I didn't really have to do it. I was much older now. I was about 15, 16, and the hurricane hit. And my mom was just any dramatic movie that you could ever think of, my mom could have starred in that movie if it was about a hurricane during that time. And we got to do this. Oh Lord, all the shutters. Oh Lord, the blinds. And it was just so much. And I was like, yo, I can't do it. I can't. I don't want to eat. I just want to go in my room. It was real bad. I was just, Scott, hurry up, man. What are you doing in Georgia? Hurry up. We need you. Like, I can't do this. So it was a rough time of my life. Rough time. That's why I moved out west. I never want to deal with a hurricane again in my life. I got PTSD from that moment. I'll deal with an earthquake. I ain't dealing with no
what made it so bad was, you know, when there's a hurricane, you have these waves of, just it appears to be calmness. And so I made a decision to step out on the screen porch and just take a look. And, you know, KJ is like, why are you out there? I mean, you need to come in. You have these bands. And I'm like, I'm fine. I just want to take a look outside and see what's going on. And I probably was out there after I said that all of 15 seconds when a band came out of nowhere.
Lord Jesus.
And I ran back in that house and I was like, oh my God. And
I'm sitting there, I told you shouldn't have gone out there. Yep, I remember that. vividly.
And just the way he came at me, it was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I'm calling your husband. He has got to come home. This is
frustrated. So frustrated. So I just told you, I don't think it's a good idea for you to go out there. It's the only time I got away with talking to mommy like that. Only time I ever got away in my own. Yo, I told you to just stay in the house and on the couch. The only time.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we still get laughter out of that.
Yeah, we do.
And it's probably a good time to just go ahead and mention, I told KJ what you said earlier today about the pool as a result. As a result of all the rain that we're having. But and listen to my audience, this is how we are. This is how we are all the time. And we do get an opportunity to take care of some serious matters, but we certainly make sure that we give ourselves time to just laugh and enjoy one another. And that is our prayer, that for those who are in your family, those who you're close with, you know, try not to allow your life to be so rigid that you can't find time to unwind and to encourage one another and to laugh with one another and to build one another up, and then be in that position that when there is a need, when there are matters that need to be addressed, you can do so and then still go back to the other. Always try to leave out of one another's presence with words that are heartfelt and heartwarming, so that the next time you get together, you know, you just pick right up from where you left off. So that is our hope. But listen, babe, you're like KJ's journey. Yours has been unorthodox as well. And what can you share that will encourage someone else who might be going through something at this moment in their life?
Well, Kenny has already shared a lot. It's about your mindset and attitude towards some things. You know, life is full of challenges, but the truth be told, most of us are resilient.
That's good.
Most of us are resilient. The biggest challenge for a lot of us, and you know, those of you that know me, I just try to keep it 100. Sometimes we just need to do an inventory of the people that's in our lives, because sometimes we are positive about what we're trying to get done, but negativity will pull us back or cast doubt. You know, and during this season that being quarantined or not moving around as much as possible, do some reflection. And do the greatest reflection, reflect inside. There's so much greatness on the inside of you. And sometimes it's right under the surface. It's right under the surface. And our focus sometimes is in the wrong place. It's okay sometimes to look at self and out for self. Look inside, because guess what? You have purpose. You have the gifts on the inside of you. You have what you have need of. You're hearing different stories here. We're here sharing certain things, but there's a side that it's like we rose from the ashes, you know, from different dramas, and we got beat along the way emotionally, psychologically. We've been through a whole lot, but we don't look like what we've been through. We have purpose in our hearts and in our minds. No, better is in us. We want better. Guess what? We deserve better. You deserve better, but better is waiting on you. You got to go get it. That's what I love about a better me, you know. But that was a good plug right there, right? You know.
Thank you.
But just want to encourage everybody, because you know, I use this thing, and those that know me, I'm from G75 Craven Terrace, born and raised, you know, and then moved to 2nd Avenue and then to what we call, quote unquote, the new projects. So I know where I come from, and I don't look back down on it, because that was a launching pad for me. That's you good. Know, wherever you were born at, whatever the circumstance, situation was, or whatever the case may be, it was only a launching pad. Kenneth said something earlier about his only failure, right? But here it is. Failure is an event, not a person. So regardless of what you deal with in life, you are not a failure. If anybody's in your ear telling you that, they don't need to be part of your circle. They don't need to be in have that kind of space in your life. Failure is an event, you know. So how many times Thomas Edison failed at, you know, before he finally invented what he needed to invent? You got greatness on the inside of you, and sometimes greatness is painful in the manifestation phase. So just because you're going through, it's okay. You know, you're going to make it. You're not only going to make it, you're going to overcome. You're going to walk in victory, because if I can do it, oh, have mercy.
Wow.
If I can do it, and that's just some things I'm not sharing right now, but that's been a journey from alcohol to some drugs and some different other things, but God, you know, and so life is good, but good didn't happen on its own.
Whoa. That's awesome. That is awesome. Listen, our time is going fast, but before we go, there are just two more things I want to ask both of you, because I said in my opening that, you know, this was done the day after, our filming was done the day after Veterans Day, but it's going to be showing the day after Thanksgiving. And we know that there are many active duty who are, and some veterans who are without their family, especially the active duty. You know, it might be a deployment. It could be a number of reasons. It could be like when Scott was in Georgia and we had gone back to New Bern. But the thing that I would like for both of you to do, and we'll start with you, KJ, is I want you to make a deposit of words of encouragement to someone who is sitting without their family during this holiday season. I want you to speak encouragement to them, because you've been in that place before, as has Scott.
Man, I'm actually about to be in that place again this year. So I want you to know that you're not alone. Like I said earlier, it is okay to feel the feels, because it's tough to be away from your family. It's tough to watch everybody else on social media get to embrace their family and have this opportunity and this time. And this holiday season is really difficult to be away, especially the holiday season. So I just encourage you to find time to look into yourself, dig a little deep, reach out to your family, find something about yourself that'll keep you occupied, busy, happy, and just find out. Like I tell people all the time, I try to look at life as and this analogy is a little different, but I try to look at life like a game. And you know, in a game you get a checkpoint, and for me, my checkpoint is always like my happiness. So when things happen to me, or
oh, we've lost his volume. We've lost his audio. We've lost your audio again, KJ. We can't hear you. There it is. We lost some of what you were saying. The audio
okay.
going on.
I'm sorry. But yeah, I look at life as like sort of as a game, and we have to have a checkpoint. And my checkpoint for happiness is my kids and my family. And so I always get to, whenever I feel like low on energy or low in my spirit level or low on my emotional level, I just reach back to that checkpoint, and I realize that I'm gonna be all right. And I'm doing this for them. For me, I'm doing this for my kids, so they can go to college for free, and so they can see that like their daddy being away for 20 years wasn't in vain. And I'm working hard at every time I'm away, and I'm making the best of it, and I'm touching a life, and that's just what I want to do. So I encourage you to maybe touch a life, and then just reach back to your checkpoint as well.
Wow, that is really, really, really good. Thank you for sharing that. Scott, honey, what would you like to share?
I can almost go ditto for that, but that was powerful. But one thing I want to interject with what KJ was saying about being gone 20 years, and that is a lot of time over the years that'll be. But I've never seen a father spend the kind of time with their kids the way you do when you got boots on the ground. Never have seen it. 23 years in the military, travel all about. I've never seen a father to spend the kind of time that you spend with your kids. So I wanted to commend you on that. It is so awesome. In the military, time away from family is very challenging. I spent quite a few years. Like I used to tell your mom, Kenny, I said, y'all came on the good side, you know, when a lot of the field duties and deployments for me was over with, you know.
Thank you, Lord.
But you know, I would just encourage you all to and some of you may be on different time zones with your family. Just get creative, and other people may look at you strange and whatnot, but with COVID-19 going on, a lot of people not going to be doing a lot of traveling anyway.
That's right.
Be it, get your little dinner, be a lunch bag or whatever from the cafeteria dining hall, and coordinate with your family. You know what time they're eating and the time you're going to eat, and sit down and using the media platform or whatever, and have family with you and have dinner with your family. And enjoy one another. As Kenneth was saying, dig deep inside. There's so much. One thing I want to encourage is be positive. This is a season when depression will try to come upon you, but depression can only settle where it's received. So don't receive it, because it's going to try to come. And I love what Kenny said about the positivity and the happiness. Find your checkpoints. Oh, that was so powerful. Find your checkpoints. Because understanding that's just a natural thing that happens. Every year, every fall, I go into a certain vein for the military families, particularly those that are separated, through deployments and things of that nature, because I know what that kind of time is like. And know that you got somebody praying for you. Our church pray, our intercessors pray, our men pray. These are things we're specific about, because we know we appreciate you serving your country. We appreciate the work that you're doing. And we understand that military culture, that family dynamic is different. People outside the military do not understand. And we thank them for celebrating us and celebrating you all and all that. With that being said, unless they have walked a mile in these boots, they don't understand, so know that you got a lot of believers, a lot of people that know and understand, has been in those shoes. Like KJ said, he's getting ready to go again. Know that we're praying for you, praying your strength, and praying that even in the midst of what's going on right now, this be one of the best holiday seasons you ever had, because it's inside of you. You can make that happen.
Wow. Both of you gentlemen have left some great deposits in the lives of the military and their family. And I'd like to add on the backside of that, because when you were active duty, I was also the leader of the family readiness group while we were in Europe. And so I had a good understanding of what it felt like and how to help the spouses while their active duty loved one was away. And so I echo what both of you have said. And you have to purpose to look for good and things that will encourage you. And remember that everything has an expiration date.
Yes.
And so sometimes you have to start looking on and expecting what's on the other side of that expiration date that will encourage you and build you up. But for both of you, your service to our country and these words that you shared, I do believe it's going to make a difference in some military family. And so thank you. Well, before we go off, I did something in season one, the very last episode. I was so blessed to have Dr. Dee Freeman in that episode. And one of the things I did was I asked her if there was anything that she wanted to ask me before we went off the air. And so we're carrying that into season two. And so I'd like to start first with you, KJ, man of God. Is there anything you'd like to ask me before we go off the air?
I don't know if I want to ask you. I think I want to ask Scott. But it's
okay.
Scott, y'all had a hurricane a couple not too long ago. Did you have to experience the same trauma that I did when that hurricane touched down in North Carolina? And if not, why? Why didn't she act the same with you that she did with me? I think the world needs to know, and so do I.
Your mother finds such a peace when I'm around. She finds,
there you go.
She finds a certain, and I'd be like, to answer your question, she didn't trip, she didn't go through all of that. Matter of fact, but see, she had matured since then, right?
There you go.
She had matured, just like you talked about you earlier in life. She had matured since then. As a matter of fact, the only encounter we had when that actual tornado came through in the thing, and we all responded appropriately,
Okay.
But she did. Yeah, she did not. She did good. She did good.
Well, I'm happy
Great
for you.
action.
I'm happy for you, Scott, that you didn't have to endure what I did.
Wow.
I really, Lord, forgive me for traumatized.
Nah, I moved all the way to the West Coast.
Oh, you got my glasses even fogging up. My goodness. Okay, it's your turn, babe.
My question would be, what is it about doing the Ability Empowerment that gets you so hyped all the time? Because see, I see you before you come on screen and before you do all of this, and I see all the excitement. I see all the work. A lot of people wouldn't imagine the work they go in. What gets you so into that place that you put the kind of work that you do for this?
That's a great question. And I'm telling you, it is the gratification that I get in hearing from the audience how it's making a difference in their lives, how they were feeling one way before the episode and another way, which is very positive after the episode, how such guests as yourself and KJ have come on and made a deposit into their lives that gives them hope, makes them look at things from a different perspective, knowing that none of our lives are perfect, but we all can put forth the effort to make it better. And better doesn't start with what somebody else is doing in their life. Better starts with what we're doing in our life. All of us can be better. That's what I work on every day, and recognizing where the Lord has brought me from. You know, going through, and KJ mentioned some of it, going through some episodes in my life's journey. And if it wasn't for the Lord and having faith in his word, I wouldn't have gotten out of it. And so I can say that today I'm better spiritually, mentally, physically, socially, and financially. And guess what? I have not arrived. There's still more to obtain and to achieve in all of those areas. And so I'm just excited. I love encouraging other people. I think about when David, the scripture says how he encouraged himself. And when I learned how to do that and apply that to my life, and then something else that I applied to my life, and KJ mentioned something similar to it earlier, when we were in Germany, and some of the kids started coming back stateside. And the Lord told me then, if you will be willing to serve as a mother to these single soldiers that's over here, invite them into your home. And you know, KJ, it was like a revolving door at times. We had a set group that would come in. He said, wherever your children are, I will make sure that there's somebody there to pour into their lives. So I realized that's a principle. Give and it shall be given unto you. You know, with good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give unto your bosom. And so that's what does it for me. I love it. I think about what I can do and say, you know, that will make a difference in somebody else's life, because I feel like the deposits, the resources, the people that God has used to get me to where I am, thank you just seems like a small thing to say. So if I can put action into it to help somebody else, that's what I'm about.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, gentlemen.
Because I be seeing it, you know, I just wanted for other folk to hear you share that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for pulling that out of me. This has been great. I'm telling you, you two, I love you too. You are some amazing men of God. And next time when I do another one with you, I've got to bring Sino in on it too. But I wanted to give tribute and honor to those who are military or have been in the military before, and let them know, as Scott said, you're not alone. You're not by yourself. There are people that are praying and encouraging you. Though you may not know who they are, trust me, they are there. And so begin the process to choose today to have a different perspective. I'd like to thank my audience for joining us, and keep joining us every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless.
Amen. 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 I hope you enjoyed that segment with KJ Man of God and Bishop Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. And I just pray that it encouraged you or it encourages others. Always look for the good in yourself and the good in others. We are a blended family. We are a blended family. And so as I said in this segment, that I really wanted to give honor to the military, because at the time that we showed this segment, it was the day, or we taped it, recorded it. It was the day after a Veterans Day. And of course, Bishop Scott is a veteran and KJ is active duty. And some of you don't know this, but 2 of our girls served in the military as well, Kevon and Kanetta. Crystal and Sino are the only ones that have not served in the military. But as I said, I'm looking forward to having Sino and his dad and KJ on together at another time. Listen, this is one thing I want to encourage you. We all, I do believe, are in the right families. And I do believe it's a strategic plan of God that we be connected and a part of the family that we're in, so that we all can become better me's. Iron does sharpen iron. And one of the things that will help you to know whether or not you're on the right path, or if there's a level of greatness in you that you have not tapped into yet, is when you start going through some trials and tribulations. Hear me. No life that is full of promise and purpose will be absent of trials and tribulations. So I want to encourage you that whatever your experiences are in your family, in your home, be intentional about focusing in on those that are positive. And then those that are not, be intentional about seeking Holy Spirit, and asking Him to order your steps and to guide you and to show you what you can do to make things better. Because in each one of our lives, there's better always on the other side. And listen, when you do that, you will begin to flourish as never before. I want to also encourage you that whatever it is that you've been called to do, do it. Do not allow yourself to be talked out of it. Do not allow others to talk you out of it. Do not think that you're not capable of doing it. Do it. It's in you to do. And when you do what you've been called to do, you are encouraging others to do the same thing. The same thing. And because we all are so unique and we're individuals, be about doing what God's called you to do. You might say, well, man, but I'm not hearing anybody doing this. This is the perfect time then for you to do what God's called you to do. You might think, well, I can do this because it's easier. I know how. I watch somebody else. I've helped somebody else do it. But that may not be what God's called you to do. That better that's in you is not in you just for you. It's in you for all of us. And so I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to encourage your loved ones and your family members, and know that each one of your family members has a deposit made on the inside of them, gifts that have been deposited in each one of us by God. You know, as I looked at this week and the things that, my husband and I we were just so busy all week long. And, we had some time to unwind. And this was the first Thanksgiving where it was just me, him, and Mitzi. I was thinking 2 Thanksgivings ago, we paid for all of our children to go on a trip with us to Myrtle Beach. And we did our Thanksgiving there. KJ and his children weren't able to come because he was, I think, in Guam at that time. And so last Thanksgiving, my husband and I went on a cruise together, and then went and sat at my brother and his wife's house for dinner in Florida. And so this Thanksgiving was different. But you know what I got out of this Thanksgiving that I didn't get out of the other two? I mean, I felt like today God blessed me in a very tangible way. And you know how he did it? He did it with family. So be grateful for the children you have, just be grateful. Let us all be grateful. And with that being said, I want to thank you again for joining us this evening. And I look forward to you being with us next Friday. Oh my goodness. Do I have a special segment next Friday? If you know of any young people who are entrepreneurs or who are striving to be entrepreneurs, you want them to sit down with you for next week's segment. All right. God bless you. Have an awesome weekend. And remember, a better me is for you. Bye-bye.